very solemn ceremony has now started here at the Kargil War Memorial in Dras, where the braves of the Indian Armed Forces are paying their respect, their tributes to the 545 braves who made the supreme sacrifice of their lives in the Kargil War. 545 lamps were lit last night at the Deep Prajwalan. Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead the nation in paying respects to our fallen braves. But it's not just the Prime Minister, it's not just the Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, the Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, the Army Commander, Northern Command, General Suchendra Kumar, or the Co-Commander here of the Fire and Fury Corps, Lieutenant General Hitesh Bhalla, or the Div Commander of the 8th Mountain Div, Major General Sachin Malik. The officers I've interviewed and spoken to who will pay their respects. It's also the families of the fallen braves. It's also the veterans of the Kargil War. They will come and pay respects to their fallen kin, to their fallen brothers in arms. I caught up with Group Captain Nachiketa, who was then a young flight lieutenant flying the MiG-27 fighter jets in the Batalik sector. Remember, he was taken prisoner of war. His engine flamed out. What happened after that? He was tortured by Pakistan's ISI, not just in Skardu, but also in Islamabad. Listen in. Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa, MiG-27 फाइटर जेट उड़ा रहे थे जब ऑपरेशन विजय शुरू ही हुआ. आपका MiG-27 फ्लेम आउट कर गया था.
हम जब फायरिंग करते हैं तो हमारा MiG-27 का स्पीड होता है 900 किलोमीटर के आसपास. उस स्पीड पे हम जब रॉकेट्स फायर करते हैं तो जो पूरा का जो प्रोग्राम होता है स्टार्टिंग से एंड तक वो 1 मिनट में सब खत्म हो जाता है. वहां पे मैं और मेरे लीडर स्कॉलर मैंडोकोट हम दोनों गए थे, हाइना फॉर्मेशन में थे. तो जब रॉकेट का फायरिंग खत्म हो गया था वापस आ रहे थे तो जहाज ऊपर चढ़ रहा था. उस समय हमारे पास एक ही इंजन होता है. आजकल के जहाजों में 2-2 इंजन होते हैं. तो इंजन फ्लेम आउट हो गया था.
So that was Group Captain Nachiketa, currently a commercial pilot. But I also want you to interact and listen into my interaction with Vishal Batra, the twin brother of Captain Vikram Batra. Synonymous not just with Dil Mange More, but also with gallantry here in the Dras sector at point 5140 and at that very difficult point 4875 beyond Tiger Hill, now called Batra Top. I asked Vishal what made him climb point 5140. Listen in. What made you climb? Vishal, first, welcome on India Today.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you so much.
What made you climb point 5140? And it's a very, very high peak there, very difficult to climb.
So, Gaurav, to be honest, me and Vikram both would be turning 50 this year.
Wow.
Right, which is on 9th of September. Though Vikram is going to be 25-year-old only because we lost him when he was 25. I have a lot of grey hair. So I had a dream of visiting both the peaks, the 5140 and the 4875. And 5140 was a dream because I wanted to pay a tribute on the 50th birth anniversary. While we lost him 25 years back, for me, he personally continues to live on, right? And that's the reason I chose and I requested the Indian Army that I want to do an expedition to 5140 and I want to do on the foot. And fortunately, this year, 18th of July was the day when I actually took a plunge, and thanks to the present Chief General Dwivedi, to whom I had placed a request in the month of November. Thanks to the GOC 8th Mountain Div General Malik, who helped me organizing this. And then, of course, Brigadier Sanjeev Kohli, the Artillery Brigade Commander, through whose, along with his entire brigade, I got this chance to climb this on 18th of July.
For the families, it's very important. They say that this place, it may be a tourist spot for some, it may be of importance to others. For them, it's pilgrimage. For them, for example, I interacted with Dr. Neha Dwivedi and Diksha Dwivedi, young daughters of then Major CB Dwivedi, a young gunner officer. He was killed in Pakistani counter bombardment when Tiger Hill was being attacked. So he was targeting Tiger Hill with his artillery pieces, with his field guns, and that's where swift counter bombardment took place, and he was killed in action. For those two young girls, this place is pilgrimage, where they feel their father still remains and blesses them. Listen in. You decided that 1, you will become a doctor, and 2, you will bring out the valor of our braves.
Yeah, the first my becoming a doctor was more or less something that I thought that my father always wanted, because I grew up hearing from him and being told, how much he looked forward to me being a doctor. And since he was so involved in my studies, I don't think I gave anything else another thought after we lost him. But after I grew up, writing always was a great area of interest for me, because it also helped me kind of keep my connection with him, because I used to maintain a diary that I used to write to him. I used to write a Dear Daddy diary. The ambition really is to be able to tell all these stories of the brave hearts that, a lot of there are two things. One is that not everybody is able to tell their own story. And the other thing is, even telling a story to someone else, everyone may not be very comfortable with placing that kind of faith. So as people who have, say whether you want to call it an interest or some kind of, expertise in writing, I think like as Brave Hearts families and people who understand that pain, if we won't, who would?
Actually, and when we talk about that pain, uh, you'd written an article, Diksha, about your father and his supreme sacrifice here in Kargil, and it pained you, but it pained you in more ways than one.
Yeah, so the first time I wrote about my father was in 2015, which was 16 years after we had lost him. And I always say, everyone asks me that, how difficult was it and and I always say that, I think the sense of pride had taken over the sense of loss by then, that I could write that article. That was the first time that I went and I, did a research and I spoke with his fellow soldiers to ask, what happened to Daddy? We only hear stories. We had never figured out how did it happen really, right? And so spend time there. But I think that story of him led me to my first book called Letters from Kargil, and that is when I found out that it's so difficult to reach people, soldiers' families, soldiers who made the supreme sacrifice, to reach them and get their letters and journal entries because they didn't preserve it. And I think that was the moment when I realized it's so important for us to take that initiative and go to those families wherever they may be, to tell their stories, because they will put their faith in us, because I think it's a community of people who have given who have given their loved ones for this motherland.
For the Indian Army, there is pride, and of course, with the pride, there's also immense pain. They've lost their loved ones, but there's pride that they achieved the task that was given to them by the government of the day. They restored the sanctity of the line of control. They ensured that India remains in a dominant position along the line of control. And there is a change in the mindset in our nation, and that shows India is now better, stronger, with a stronger will and the desire to win. The Indian Army, in these images, paying their respects to their fallen braves, to their brothers in arms.